My name is Lucas Martin, and I'm 25 years old. From the moment I could speak, I dreamed of connecting with people from every corner of the globe. Today, I stand in front of you on the Learn English Through Story channel to share a chapter of my life, a journey that transformed my fear of speaking into a passion for purpose. This story-style script is designed to be not only a motivational tale, but also a practical guide, filled with everyday English sentences you can use right now. Let's begin. When I was a child growing up in a small town, I watched foreign films and heard people speaking English on television. I was fascinated by the sounds, hello, thank you, see you later. Yet every time I tried to repeat them, my tongue felt heavy and uncertain. At school, I memorized grammar rules and vocabulary lists, but when it came to real conversation, my heart pounded and my voice betrayed me. I would freeze in front of my classmates, whispering, "Good morning," so softly that the teacher often asked me to repeat it louder. It wasn't enough to know the words. I had to overcome the fear of using them aloud. When I turned 16, I met Sophia, a volunteer from an international exchange program. She was 19 and from Brazil, with a warm smile and a notebook filled with English idioms. Every afternoon after school, we sat under the old oak tree in the courtyard and practiced simple dialogues. "Hi, how are you?" she asked me on. The first day, my answer trembled. I am fine, thank you." She grinned and said, "Great. Now, repeat after me. Hi, what's up?" That small twist changed everything. I learned that English is alive, it changes, it adapts. And it comes to life when you use it. As I practiced with Sophia, I discovered the power of daily routines. Each morning, I would greet my parents. "Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Dad." Before breakfast, I asked, "May I have some toast, please?" At the bus stop, I greeted strangers. "Hello, nice day, isn't it?" These simple sentences built my confidence. Soon, I found myself teaching my younger sister, Emma, age 13, to say, "Excuse me, can you help me?" when asking for directions. Watching her repeat the words with bright eyes reminded me that every learner needs encouragement. By the money machine. Time I was 18, I enrolled in a language club at the local community center. There, I met people of all ages, retirees brushing up their English, young professionals practicing for job interviews, and travelers passing through town. Every week, we held themed conversations, ordering at a cafe, booking a hotel room, making small talk at a party. One night, the theme was at the supermarket, and I learned to say, "Where can I find the milk? And how much does this cost?" These practical phrases felt like keys unlocking new doors. I began to believe that English was not just a subject in school, it was a tool to navigate life. At 20, I decided to take a bold step. I moved to Dublin, Ireland, for a year-long teaching assistant program. I rented a small room in a shared flat with 3 roommates from different countries, Japan, Spain, and Nigeria. My flatmates became my family away from home. Every evening we cooked together. "Can you pass me the salt, please?" "Of course, here you go." We laughed. I mixed up Spanish and English, but they never judged me. They corrected my sentences gently. We say, "I'm going to the grocery store," not "I go to grocery store." With each correction, my English became smoother. Living abroad taught me the importance of listening as much as speaking. On weekends, I explored the city's winding streets and historic pubs, striking up conversations with locals. "Hi, can I join you?" "Sure, pull up a chair." I learned to ask follow-up questions. "What do you recommend on the menu?" "Have you visited any good art galleries lately?" Each interaction expanded my vocabulary and deepened my understanding of culture. I discovered that good conversation is a two-way street. You listen, you respond, you share. Midway through my year in Dublin, I faced my biggest challenge, delivering a presentation to a classroom of children learning English. the head teacher, asked me to tell them the story of my hometown. My heart raced as I stood before 20 bright-eyed students. I opened my mouth and said, "Hello, everyone. My name is Lucas. I come from a small town by the sea." To my surprise, the children's faces lit up. They asked questions. "Do you have a dog?" "What is your favorite food?" I answered. "Yes, I have a dog named Max. My favorite food is pizza." Their enthusiasm gave me a surge of confidence I had never felt before. When I returned home at 22, I decided to share my journey with others. I started volunteering at a local library, leading free English conversation clubs on Saturday mornings. My script for each session followed a simple structure: greeting, daily routine, dialogues, role plays, and a motivational story segment. I began each meeting by saying, "Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our English club." Then we practiced ordering coffee. "I'd like a cappuccino, please." Next, we role-played travel scenarios. "Can I have a window seat?" Throughout, I shared snippets of my Dublin adventures, weaving in sentences like, "I met new friends from all over the world, and I learned to believe in myself." In each club, I watched learners blossom. Maya, age 30, whose first word in English was bonjour because she spoke French at home, greeted me one day with, "Hello, Lucas, I baked cookies for us." She had learned to say, "I'm so proud of how far you've come," but she was modest, so I told her, "No, Maya, I'm proud of you." Seeing her joy reminded me why I teach. Language is more than grammar. It's a bridge between hearts. 2 years ago, I created the Learn English Through Story channel on YouTube. My vision was simple: combine storytelling, practical English lessons, and real-life examples to make learning inspiring and effective. Each video begins with a hook. Imagine you're standing in a crowded airport and you need to ask for help. What would you say? Then I dive into a story, often my own experiences, highlighting useful sentences like, "Could you please direct me to gate 12? Or, "I think I've lost my boarding pass." Viewers see the example in context and then practice repeating the lines. One of our most popular scripts is titled "Finding Courage in a Foreign Land." In that episode, I tell the story of hiking alone in the Wicklow Mountains. I open with, "My heart pounded as I stood at the edge of the cliff." Then I teach viewers to say, "I'm feeling a little nervous. Can you stay with me for a moment?" The script flows between narrative and dialogue, encouraging learners to repeat sentences aloud. By the end, learners not only understand the phrases but feel emotionally connected to the story, making the language stick. Another favorite is when culture shock meets laughter. I share how I accidentally ordered sheep's head soup at a local festival in County Cork. I teach the phrase, "Excuse me, what is this dish?" and then show the vocabulary for different foods. The story is funny, and learners remember the words because they laugh along. Every script on the channel follows this pattern: a relatable situation, clear examples of daily English, and an emotional arc that motivates practice. Today, as I record this script for you, I want to introduce our newest series, Voices Across Borders. In these upcoming videos, we'll feature learners from 5 continents sharing their stories. Imagine hearing Aisha, age 23, from Egypt, describing her first train ride in English. She'll say, "I bought my ticket at the counter," teaching you to use past simple. Then we'll hear from Hiroshi, age 30, in Tokyo, ordering, "Sushi, I'd like the chef's recommendation, please." Each voice brings new phrases and new inspiration. Here on Learn English Through Story channel, we believe in 3 core principles. First, practice makes progress. Don't just listen, speak along. Every time you say, "Excuse me, could I ask you a question?" you build confidence. Second, mistakes are part of the journey. When you say, "I goed" instead of "I went," Laugh, correct yourself, and move on. Third, stories connect us. When you understand how someone else felt, you share their world, and you remember the language they used. So, here's your call to action. Grab a notebook, press play on this video, and say each sentence with me. Pause, rewind, and practice until your voice feels strong. Try the phrases in real life. Greet a neighbor with good afternoon. Ask a barista, could I have a large latte, please? Or text a friend, hey, how was your weekend? Every step forward is a victory. Before we wrap up, I wanted to share one last story, my story in 3 sentences you can memorize today. Repeat after me. I believe in my ability to learn. Every mistake brings me closer to fluency. I will keep practicing and I will succeed. Say them every morning. Let these affirmations light your path. Thank you for joining me on this chapter of my life and learning. If this story inspired you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Learn English Through Story channel for more motivational scripts and practical lessons. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode where we turn real-life experiences into English learning gold. Remember, your voice matters, your story matters, and your English journey is just beginning. Together, let's speak, laugh, and learn one story at a time. Stay motivated, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye and happy learning.